We're Lil Hamishi, 5780. Signature of the Khatan. Right here, you have to sign.
I'm from New York, Brooklyn, New York. I moved to Florida in my late teens, when I was 17.
I grew up in Haiti. I was born in Haiti, and I moved here to Miami about 14 years ago when I was 13 years old, so I'll say 15 years ago. So since then, I've always lived in Miami, and that's where I spent my life, went to school and did everything. Until we meet. Coming to the shore.
Yeah.
Coming to the shore along with about 2 years ago. Yeah, I started coming to the shore, and
when did you guys get married?
About a month ago.
Okay.
A month and a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Did you guys speak at all since?
No. The first time, as I was going through a process about 2 years ago, started going to the Rabbi, and after that first year or second, and my cousin said, you want to talk to the Rabbi? I mean, he can help you if you really want to convert and stuff like that. So I was like, before I thought, I was like, okay, I was like, since I came, that's the reason I came. I was like, okay, I'll talk to the Rabbi. He was like, you sure you want to do this? I was like, yeah. It's like, you know, all these decrees on our side, they're coming on you. You know, they're out to kill us and everything. I was like, yeah, I'm sure, for sure, no problem, 100%. So from then on, he gave me a syllabus to learn what to learn, how to do. So from that moment on, I just started studying. Whatever I learned from before, had it, and just keep adding on to it, and as I'm going to the shiur, and she's there, and as I'm changing my life, whatever my life I'm keeping back, I'm leaving my old life behind. Every week I'm going, she's there, and then you start thinking maybe when finally get into that process, and the Rabbi was saying after you get to the process, you have to get married. That's the first mitzvah in Judaism. You have to get married and have children. So it was like, okay, you're there, you're getting into a community. What's there? And the shiur, she's always there. She's a tzadika there. So like maybe if I have the merit, not my merit, from somewhere, and maybe she'll be one of the candidates. And yeah, so I was there. I kept going and focusing on my studies, and go to a conversion process after a year. As soon as we finished, we never talk one word, but she bakes. So the only word I probably said to her was like, "Thank you for the cookies. They were delicious." And she'll just shake her head, "Thank you." And that's it. That's the only word that I know for sure we spoke. That's it. Yeah. So as we're learning, going through a process, then the week after the conversion, the mikveh and everything, then the Rav said, "Okay, you're finished now, and it's time for you to get married." I was like, so. And we're here, and this is a little small group of us. So I have someone for you. You should, these guys should go on a date and see where things go. I was like, yeah, no problem. He was like, it's that person. I was like, oh, I have the merit. Okay, maybe it's because of the Rav merit. I'm able to get the chance to go out with her. So and she also said yes. I was like, oh, how lucky I am. Yeah, and we went on a date and we clicked. Yep. Everything started from then. But the first time we talked, when was the Rav took the both of us together, it was like, Elchanan, this is Michal, and Michal, Elchanan. Now you guys go on a date and see how things go. And when we went on a date, that's the first time we actually talked. What's your name? Where you from? Blah, blah, blah. And then from then on, we clicked from the first date, and we went on a couple of dates after that. Kept talking. A few months later, we got married. Yeah, it was a merit. It was a privilege. It's a blessing for me to marry this tzaddik, as you guys can see. And, every day she gives me strength. She gives me, she helped me push forward and trying to be better. I know with her by my side, I'm blessed, and I thank the Rav for this perfect match. Words cannot express my gratitude to the Rav, to the shiur, and to her, of course. About Hashem, Hashem knows what He's doing. I'm glad He gave me that shidduch.
I also going there and realizing that my next step would also be getting married. I was brought up in a home where college is like the mandatory thing. You have to go to college for 5 years so you have a solid degree and to make money, and that's the main purpose in life, is to make money so you can live. The only way to live is if you go to college and make money. And I knew that was not what the Derech of Hashem is. So that was also one of the things I had to overcome with my father more of. He told me I would basically end up homeless if I don't go to college. Speaking with the Rav about it, I end up working for him and leaving my job because I was looking for more meaningful work, and marriage was the next step for me, and going to the shores for 2 years and seeing him there, and he was always there every single time. It's like you think, but you can't think yet because he wasn't fully converted yet, but he was very close to it, and I would always hint to the Rav, like, okay, so when? And he would give me he would say, no, you should try out other offers and try to look. Also, you have to do your part. You can't just sit and not do anything and wait. But I felt like I wouldn't be giving anyone a fair chance because I felt like this was it. Like, I need someone who is choosing to be Jewish because that is what he wants his life to be, and he knows that's what Hashem wants from us, and we were created for this reason, to serve Hashem, and anyone else I'd go out with would never understand, ever. Yes, 100%.
Like I said, Satika.
100% felt it in the room every single time. Not
I
so
try to
much.
stay focused.
Yeah, if anything, I was the crazy one. Keep on looking over, but he was always staring at the Rab's
I
face.
try.
Never.
Yeah, that was my distraction. I had to say, I was like, that's not the mission right now. The mission is to finish.
Yeah.
Looking at the finish line can be distracted, and it was a distraction. But you put your eyes on the finish line, which was being part of the special people, Hashem's people, and that was the goal, that was the mission, and I wanted to focus on that before anything. I let my mind take anything. I needed my mind to be pure and making sure that I'm coming in and knowing that I'm there to serve Hashem, and everything that comes afterwards. It's because I'm part of Hashem's people. So yeah, I like I said, I had the idea. There was the prospect, but the main goal was to be part of Am Israel, and after that, then everything else will come. So in Baruch Hashem, I stayed the path, and I completed it, and Hashem gave me the prize. At the end of the day, everything worked out. It's a long story. A little bit of background. Obviously, I'm a convert. Of course, I grew up in Christianity. Even growing up, I was just always that kid who was just for doing things because your parents told you to. I went to church. I can't believe it, but because your parents told you how to, you were a kid, and you went there just to play with friends. Was never really focused. So Baruch Hashem, I never was deep involved into Christianity because something was never right. So I was just there just because. When I moved here, I went to school like a regular kid, did what my parents said, went to church whenever I could, and as I started getting older, I was able to make those decisions and not go every time. So that was good, and because of that, I was able to have my a free choice, as you would say, to choose and find different things. So as I grew up after high school, I started learning about Judaism through one of my cousins. He was always searching, and he found about Judaism, and from then on, we started studying, and I caught up in the middle. We studied together. He was showing us proof how everything else about JC, all those Avodah Zarah, if it's fake and the story doesn't make sense, and the fact that myself, I was never involved into it, I kind of caught on pretty quickly how everything in there was just straight up false. And now you can see why your soul never was caught up to it. With that, I was able to grasp into Judaism pretty quick, and it felt from then on, I was never into religion, but from then on, I could say that point on, I was attracted. And I have to say, the first book I read was a book about Judaism, completely from cover to cover. That was the starting point, and I started watching Shurim online. Rav Mizrahi was the first one, and I remember he introduced Rav Reuven in one of the videos, or there was a suggestion of a different rabbi. So I remember clicking on the video, and the personal story, I watched part of it. To my surprise, one of my cousins who already converted, he was following Rav Reuven. And one day, coincidentally, we went to that cousin of mine that brought us into Judaism, and Betzalel, which already did his conversion, also came by. So it was me and my brother, my cousin Betzalel, and his older brother, and we were just talking, and he happened to say a story about Rav Reuven, how his rabbi went through a lot of hardship and how he overcame it, and now he's better for it, and he's just the Torah he's learning from him is unbelievable. I was like, wow. I remember hearing that story. I was like, I thought this rabbi was in New York. So I was like, okay. I was like, oh, interesting. Then that day we talked, then we left, we went our own ways. And probably a few days later, I clicked on one of the Rav Reuven videos, and I was listening, and I heard Betzalel's voice. I was like, wait, what? He's here in Miami? And I replayed it. I was like, I know that voice. It's familiar. I replayed it. I went to my brother. I was like, do you think that's Betzalel? He was like, yeah, I think so. I was like, okay, let's see where the address is. And I listened to the rest of the show. Then the next time there was a show, I went to it. I just walked in. I was like, decided that day, I'm just gonna get up and make sure I make it to that show. Because before, we knew about Judaism, but we weren't really taking that step until one day I remember I was watching one of our Mizrahi show. You said, like, even though you think you're doing whatever you're doing, if you really want to do it, you're gonna take that extra step and do what you need to do. So that's what I did that day. I went to Reuven show, and my life changed from then on. And I could say it's the best decision I made in my life, the first decision. And well, Hashem, now I'm a convert, trying to do my best each and every day to live according to the Torah.
I found out about Rabbi Reuven through a friend's cousin who sent me a flyer to go attend some rabbi's shiur, and I recently got back from my Israel trip, a year there in seminary, and I was looking for something more. I felt like I was in seminary, I didn't belong there. It was everyone trying to fit you into a cookie cutter kind of place, and I was looking for more of like the passion in Judaism and finding out why you're doing everything, because most people look at it as something traditional and you're just keeping everything, and there's no why you're doing it. It's more of, okay, the whole religion is just following certain traditions, and I knew there was something more. So I was open to learning more, and I wanted more opportunities to go to different classes, and I went to this class, and my friend's cousin didn't even end up coming. I just went alone, and that was my first time going, and I became addicted to them. And I haven't, maybe only twice in the past 3 years since I started going, to miss one. I can never miss one for anything, and it changed my life completely, and it gave me a whole new view on Judaism. I didn't realize that I wasn't even, compared to how I was before, I felt like I wasn't even Jewish. It was just keeping certain little traditions, but there was no knowing why you were doing it. It was just following it because that's what your family told you to do. And okay, every Friday night you say Kiddush and that's it, and there was no passion in it.
To say the least, I can't remember myself before these lectures. I can, but I don't want to. So, because that's how much the difference been. And from those moments on, whatever he was saying caught up to me, and I wasn't never ever that person who will just. Of course, you heard, then you take some time for it to sink in, but right away I felt that, okay, that's something I needed to do. Whatever he was saying, there were proofs, and at the end of the day, the Torah said it. And whether it's the way you behave, how you dress, how you speak, whatever it is, it's according to the Torah. So at first sight, it caught on to me, and it was the truth. So those things I took to heart. Whatever it could have been difficult, at the end of the day, I tried to do it the best that I could. And you can fail, but still try again and make sure you do it the best that you can. And those teaching, I have to say, my character has changed tremendously. I was never a wild person, but this pretty much just kind of keep me on the path and just give me a direction, in the right direction, to have a purpose in life. We never finish with our purpose until we die, like the Rabbi always says. So each and every day, whatever showing I listen to, I try to take something from there. I always take something from there and apply it to my life, trying to be better. Whether it's hard, difficult, of course you still have a Yetzirah, but still, you just apply it, do it. If you fail, try again tomorrow, because that's the whole purpose. I can't thank him enough for everything he's done, and I thank Hashem every day that I found him. One of the best ones that's doing it in this generation, and I think without his teaching, how he's saying it, with the passion that he has for it, I don't think anything else will really cut into my soul the way it does. Those teaching are what made me what I am today, and it's me trying to be a better person and trying to do the will of Hashem. I mean, it's just unbelievable what the word of Torah can do, and the way he said it, it's nothing better than that.
Before I started attending Rabbi Reuven shiurs, I thought I was doing everything perfectly. I thought I was keeping Judaism exactly how it's meant to be. I wore my skirt that covered my knees, dressed what I thought was modest. I kept Shabbat. I thought I was keeping everything perfectly, and then the first shiur I went to, I realized that I'm not keeping anything, even though I was, because there was no heart in it. Judaism is your life. It was just something that you did in your life, but it wasn't really your everything. It wasn't your purpose. It was just something you did on the side. Yeah, so when I heard him talk about modesty and saying how you're supposed to cover your legs completely 6 inches below the knee, I had no idea. I've been raised in Jewish home that was observant and Orthodox and everything. And I've gone to Jewish schools, and the 6 inches below the knee I never even heard of that's the lowest. 75% or a big chunk of a woman's mitzvah in this world is to be modest. And when I found out that covering your knee is not going to cover it, and you're supposed to cover your entire leg, and that's when I decided to throw out all my clothes and start fresh new and only wear long dresses from now on. And also with tightness of clothes, people think that just because your clothes are covering your body part, it could be tight, but it's not really true. You have to cover the actual shape of your body. It's not something that's meant to be shown to everyone, and it's a shame because 95% of the women out there in the Jewish world wear tight clothes, and it's a shame. You think you're keeping it perfectly, but you don't realize that you're not.
And nothing that's worth it comes easy. So not me myself, but seeing someone you love suffer, that's hard in itself. And even before I met the Rav, it was the beginning of everything. And of course, after starting learning about Judaism, and now you started seeing things in your life the way, because you had to change your whole environment, your way of living. So even family, friends, the people you used to hang out with, you can't really hang out with them. So they start seeing you in a different light. So you had to really seclude yourself in the beginning, just so you can serve Hashem. So the people, they look at you different because you're different, but at the end of the day, you know what you were doing it for. You were doing it for Hashem. So you just kind of block everything and just keep going forward, because you know there's a reason for it and there's a good reason. So nothing can really block what you're trying to do. So whatever came my way, whatever it could be, I just went and block it. I was always that person to try to I don't dwell on stuff. So it happened, I deal with it at the moment, and I let it go. I try to, whatever hardship came my way, I try to deal with it as best as I can, and then keep moving forward. Baruch Hashem, He gave me the strength to deal with it, and now I'm here. I thank Hashem for that, and the teachings were one of the reasons that I was able to overcome it, because the Rav always talk about it. Whatever happens, because Hashem have a plan. It was meant to happen. If you see the positive in it, then you'll overcome it. Because of those teachings, I was able to overcome them. And Baruch Hashem, now I succeeded in what I wanted to do. So, at the beginning, they were always saying, you can't really be a Jew in this world. It's just like, it doesn't fit you, it doesn't suit you. You were raised a different way. How can you just live the way you were raised? It was like something you knew your whole life. I'm like, okay, sometimes people change. Even you yourself, if you see something is better for you, you can go ahead and change whatever it is, if it's going to be to your benefit. So why is this any different? The way I was raised, the religion I was raised, they thought they were keeping the mitzvot. They call them Seventh-day Adventists, and they think they're keeping the 10 Commandments, but they don't even know how to keep the 10 Commandments. They thought, we're close to Judaism and things like that, but really fooling themselves. And that way they was like, you can be, they always see you in the light, like you're just trying it, but eventually you will come back. Like that, when you don't get that support, it's really hard. So, but like I said, I'm that person who was able to, at that moment, see it. I didn't really have to cut anybody off, but take my distance, do what I needed to do for myself. Whatever happened afterwards, whether they like it or not, it was my decision. It worked out at the end. Everyone now, they accept it, they understand it. We're adults, we're all friendly. Just separate ourselves, our beliefs, whatever it's allowed, we do, and that's it.
I was never that person who was give in to peer pressure. I was did everything, whatever I wanted to do it, or whatever I felt was the right thing to do, I did it. I didn't care what anyone else was doing. In high school, for example, girls doing things that they shouldn't be doing, I never gave in to peer pressure. I didn't care. I would just be that girl on the side that didn't participate in the wrong things that they were doing. So for me, standing up for what I believe in, and that was never really a difficult thing for me to do, which came in handy when it was time to change my entire life. Baruch Hashem, my mother and my sisters were full on board when I started learning. In the beginning, they were a little hesitant because they thought I was being a little bit extreme, going 3 times a night for 3 hours and coming home at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, because I had that much, like, wanting more. It was never enough. Even after 3 hours, I would sit at work all day, 9 to 5 job, and have my headphones in and listen to the whole Musar Pirkei Avot series from the first one until past 100, and all day long from 9 to 5 straight, no breaks, unless I had to charge my phone. That was for the first year and a half. I was fully into watching everything, and it changed my entire life. I think my mother and my sisters were full on board. The rest of my family, not so much. Calling me part of a cult, and you're being too extreme. This is not the religion. He's, no one else is speaking like him, so why are you listening to this one rabbi when 99% of the other rabbis around the world are talking about the opposite thing? And you try to explain to your family, no, they're not providing sources, they're not speaking the truth. You could show people sources, it doesn't mean anything. If somebody wants to believe, they'll believe. If somebody doesn't want to believe, they'll find a million excuses to want to accept it. I lost a few family members because of it. But on top of other family things that happen along the way of getting closer to it, you have more problems come into your life to test to see how strong you're going to stay with it.
One of the things I know for sure, growing up as a person who was in life, I wasn't religious, but one thing in my life that was always close to me was watching TV. When the Rav started talking about how you can be wasting your life watching TV, I had specific things. I like action or sport. I grew up playing sport and things like that, watching basketball and soccer. And when the Rav started talking about it, it was difficult to do, but it was like, little by little, you started cutting it out. But that was one of the difficult things I had to do, was like stop watching TV altogether. It was like hard. But at the end of the day, when you know the reason, you see the reason why, difficult or not, you just have to do it. I was able to, till this day, you fight with it. The later come once in a while, but you just remember why you did it and the reason behind it. It just gives you strength to continue. But that was one of the hard things I had to do, me personally. The time that I wasted, I'm trying to get it back, even though you can't really. But now learn Torah and find the entertainment in the books. There's plenty of it. So, Baruch Hashem. Each and every day we're doing better.
That reminded me of one of the things that I had to eventually cut out was non-Jewish music, and music was my thing of relaxing and letting go of everything, and my therapy, I guess you can call it. Listen to the same song that came out 500 times until you know all the lyrics and it's in your mind. That was me. I was addicted, I guess, to music. It was something that I really connected to, and I realized that I can't keep coming to the shiurs and still listen to the non-Jewish music. You can't sit in the shiur for 3 hours and go in your car and put on non-Jewish music. It's not going to work. You can't sit for 3 hours in a shiur and then get home and watch Netflix. It's not going to connect. It's like you're fighting yourself. You feel it. You feel your neshama fighting. And it was hard to cut out the non-Jewish music. So what I did at first was I would only listen to the clean non-Jewish music, which doesn't really exist. So that lasted maybe a week or two, and then I decided, okay, you know what? I'll just listen without the lyrics.
Instrumental.
Instrumental music. So I have that because I like the music part. So okay, fine, I won't listen to the words. I'll just listen to the music. You still know the lyrics, and you're still those things are gonna pop up in your mind. So that's not gonna work either. It could help you get off of it, and it definitely is better, I think. Like, in my opinion, instead of going cold turkey, at least listen to the instrumental, so you're letting go slowly, because it's hard to just cut it all out in one shot, because then you end up going back to it even more. I tried it once. I said, you know what, forget it. I'm deleting everything. I'm going to have no music on my phone. But then you end up going back because you hear it in a store, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I miss it so much. So slowly getting off of it, and you have to keep listening to the shiurim. You have to keep on. That's the only way to really let go of it completely, is by breathing it every single day, all day long. It's the only way to fully let go of it. And now when I hear the non-Jewish music, there's nothing in my mind that says, oh, I missed it, or anything like that. Or if I see Netflix, I don't start thinking, oh, I wish I could just like sit and watch Netflix all day. It's like you realize that it was such a waste of time. I wasted so much of my life watching Netflix in bed all day. Like, you have a day off from school, the only thing you want to do is be in pajamas in bed and just watch Netflix. And yeah, the only way to fully change is by going to the shiurim live. You have to go live. Listening online, it works like when you're at work or when you can't go because there is no live one. But if you live in Florida, you should go live. It's a totally different experience. You're listening to almost like a different shiur when you're live, because you feel the energy in the room, and it helps your neshama connect to it more. Than you're more likely to be able to let go of all the secular things, and you'll become disgusted almost by the secular things, because you're fighting yourself if you think that you can stay with these secular things like the music and the movies and listen to Torah and try to become closer to Hashem. It's not going to work. You're just going to end up feeling very confused with yourself. If you keep in mind that, is this action going to, if Mashiach comes in a second, am I going to be saved or not going to be saved? If you always have that in mind, then that should help you when it comes to making little decisions. And don't take things lightly. Look at everything in your life and look at it as, it is a big deal if I play the non-Jewish song, but it really does affect your neshama. Like, you'll hear it in the background in a store, and it really does affect you. All of a sudden you feel a way, and you're like, why do I feel this way right now? And it's because you remember your past and listening to it. And there's good Jewish music too. You can find it. It exists. You just have to work hard. Start your Jewish music playlist. You'll end up being able to listen to the shiurs longer, and you'll be able to actually internalize them and start keeping what they're saying.
For me personally, to see where I came from and where I am now and the changes that has happened, and like I said, I've never felt better, and now I'm doing things that I never did before because I never had the drive to do them. And becoming a Jew and being involved in all this spirituality just gets to me, and everything that I'm hearing that I need to do, I'm doing. And believe me, you doing it is not a burden. It's a blessing. It's a relief. Your soul will finally feel free because it's doing the will of Hashem, because that's our purpose in life. So don't fight it. Don't think anything out there is better. Believe me, I was out there, I had the opportunity to do a lot of things. Whether I did it or not, which about Hashem, I never got myself involved in anything, but it was there. You saw things, you experienced little things, but nothing was really anywhere close to the feeling that I get now. Just reading a book, finishing a book, and after reading the stories in there and seeing how people live and what they did for Hashem and their faith, their emunah in Hashem, is just unbelievable. And he said, these people, you're nothing compared to them. So all you can do is try to be as close to the dust and leather field as possible. And that gives you a drive, gives you a feeling. It's unbelievable. You can't really describe it. It's just amazing. Believe me, nothing out there can match it. And from my perspective and from my point of view, from where I came from now, worlds apart. B'ezrat Hashem, everyone will really get into themselves, really see that nothing out there is really worth it, and they'll come and do the will of Hashem and serve the purpose in life. Because at the end of the day, everyone feels empty. They feel that emptiness. That's why they're trying to fill it in with everything out there, and they keep going to different things. So if you feel like you keep doing all these different things and the result keeps feeling that you're being more empty, it's because you're not doing the right thing. So get close to Hashem, do His will. You'll feel that drive, you'll feel that purpose that you're looking for, and believe me, you won't regret it. It'll be the best feeling in the world. You'll regret the fact that you didn't do it sooner. Let us stop being hard-headed, stiff-necked people like we know that we Am Israel are, but and start listening to Hashem and do His will, and we'll get the pleasure that we're looking for. So it's what Hashem will listen and do tshuva and help our neshama get that feeling it's looking for. And the Rav is doing a great, fantastic job. He doesn't even cover it. The Mesut Nefesh he does each and every time for Shiur, for Am Israel. Let us really keep strong, support him in everything that he does, because he's doing it out of pure love. I thank him, but I know it's not enough, but I'm gonna say it anyways, and Hashem will pay him for the reward and for the blessing that he has bestowed in my life and in this world in general. As he's working hard, let us work hard to do what we need to do. That'll be my wish for us all.
I don't think I can top that.
We're Lil Chamishi, 5780. Signature of the Chatan. Right here, you have to sign. Put the talit on. his ring. Hedim, you see the ring? See the ring? Where's the other head? Two, 1, 2, okay. 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 This ring. Your ring?
Yes.
You bought this ring?
Yes.
Your money?
Yes.
You didn't find it?
No.
Sure? Maybe? It fell from the sky?
No.
For sure? Your money? Okay, let's see. If it's somebody else's ring, you can. Okay, let's see. Sabri Maranan. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו וצטה וציוונו על האריות ואסר לנו את הארוסות והתיר לנו את הנשואות לנו על ידי חופה בקידושין. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש עמו ישראל על ידי חופה בקידושין. And you give it to her. You don't drink too much, you get drunk.
הריית מקודשת לי
בטבע זו,
בטבעה זו
כדת,
כדת משה וישראל.
סברי מרנן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהכל ברא לכבודו. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, יוצר האדם. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר יצא את האדם בצלמו, בצלם דמות תבניתו, והתקין לו ממנו בניין עד ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני יוצר האדם, זוז תסיס ותגל הכרה בקיבוץ בניה לתוכה במהרה בשמחה. ברוך אתה אדוני משמח ציון ובניה, שמח תשמח רעים אהובי, כשמרך יצירך בגן עדן מקדם. ברוך אתה אדוני משמח חתן וכלה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר ברא ששון ושמחה, חתן וכלה, גילה רינה, דיצה וחדווה, אהבה ואחווה, שלום ורעות. מרע אדוני אלוהינו ישמע בהרי יהודה ובחוצות ירושלים, כל ששון וכל שמחה, כל חתן וכל כלה, כל מצהלות חתנים מחופתם ונערים משתה ונגנתם. ברוך אתה אדוני משמח החתן עם הכלה ומצליח. אם אשכחך ירושלים תשכח ימיני, תדבק לשוני דחיקי, אם לא אזכרכי, אם לא אעלה את ירושלים על ראש שמחתי. הקדוש ברוך הוא יברך אתכם חיים ארוכים, שלמים, מלאים תורה, מצוות, גמילות חסדים. אמן. ברוך השם, ברוך השם. Okay, wait, before you go, let's give me the ketubah. You. Where's the ketubah? Ketubah? Okay. He's going to give the ketubah to the imam now. Hashem na'aseh v'natzliach. Baruch Hashem, a big mazal tov to Elchanan and Michal. Baruch Hashem, הקדוש ברוך הוא יברך אתכם בכל מכל כל. חיים ארוכים, שלמים, מלאים תורה, מצוות, גמילות חסדים. Baruch Hashem, you win the Wedding of the Year award, Baruch Hashem. Very holy wedding. Whether you're Jewish or non-Jewish, when you arrive to this wedding, you know it's holy.
I didn't think it was going to take that long. Believe me, I think it was going to be 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's it. But Baruch Hashem, like the Rabbi always said, the Torah will bring you, the time will pass you. You'll never know what's happening, but we just experienced it. I didn't think I had an enemy to talk this much, but it just happened. And it's because of the Torah. Believe me, I never thought I would be talking in front of camera, but for Torah, to bring Hashem's children back to Him, I'll do anything, whatever that I can, to see however much I can help Am Yisrael to do tshuva and come back to Hashem. Because, like the Rabbi always says, bringing back Hashem's children, that's the only thing really we can do for Him. So, if I can be a part of this, whatever I put my fears, my phobia, whatever it can be, put it behind me and then just do what we need to do, which is what everyone else should be doing, which is like put your desire aside, put all your want and needs that's not according to Hashem's Torah, and then just do His will. Like I said, you'll be rewarded for it, but like we know, we're not really doing it for the reward because that's what the Mishnah said, but Hashem always gives us incentive to do more. So Bezrat Hashem, He help us, He strengthen us to do what we need to do, and we'll be rewarded for it. But even though we don't want to do it for the reward, but that would be our incentive to finally do it, and then at the end of the day, we'll do it for the sake of heaven. So it's just for us to do our part and to help Am Yisrael, basically, because that's all we can do. That's the only thing we can do for Hashem after all He's done for us, giving us life and feeding us every day. And whatever we really need, He gave it to us. So the least we can do is do His will, bring His children back to Him, and serve Him, and thank Him for everything He's done. So, B'ezrat Hashem, we'll help the little bit that we can.